see another vehicle, part of the fleet. Yes. Tell me a little bit about what you have here.
1985 Toyota Trueno. Got it from a friend of a friend. It was a military connection, actually. This car was originally in Okinawa, Japan, with my friend. So they were all in the Air Force. They were there for a number of years. They collected these cars, and then came back stateside. And this car was actually in Arizona. So not all of them got to stick together. And so the dude in Arizona, his wife was Japanese, and that's where this car is from. So he was, when he was looking for a car, he had said to his wife that he was looking for one, and she said, yeah, you know, my brother and my father, you know, had one. I don't think they're using it. You could ask them about it. So he asked his father-in-law, you know, if he could buy the car, and he was like, yeah, you can buy it under two conditions. One, you have to restore it. And two, you can never sell it without talking to the family. So he agreed to buy it, and while he was in Japan, he had basically restored not so much on the inside, but the entire interior. So all the interior here was all three-piece. So he sent me pictures from when it was just, you know, just a shell on the inside. You got a bunch of all new pieces from Toyota, dash, center console, I mean, just everything, the seats, and put all together. So once his enlistment was over and he was back in Arizona, his wife started a family. When he got tight, wasn't doing anything with the car, so he contacted my friend, and like, hey, I want to, you know, sell the car, but I don't want to sell it to anybody, and I want to sell it to 16-year-olds who's going to drift into a light bulb.
Take a Okay, we couldn't hear over the Lamborghini Diablo back there, which is not a bad thing to go through. But so tell me, so when did you end up changing hands with the owner? What year was that?
2018.
2018. So once you got the car, what was the experience like right out of the box?
Pretty awesome. So yeah, never had a vehicle transported before, so it was pretty cool. Big old, you know, the truck that brought that car had like classic Corvette was on there, like a C1, some Dodge Viper. So they're rolling off all these cars, and you know, here's my Corolla. It's like pretty funny. And then yeah, first thing I did was picked up one of my friends, drove it out to St. Pete to show one of my other friends, and when I got over there, like the car like wouldn't start after that, so we had to like push started and got going, and not even like 10 minutes after that, all of a sudden it was like something on like initial D, like all of a sudden like all the electronics just shut off, just like RPM, and then just huge smoke show from under the bay. I was like, what is going on? And what had happened was that the two bolts that hold the starter in, they were literally just missing. They were completely gone. The starter fell out, grounded to the block, and blew off the positive battery terminal, everything that was connected to it. So yeah, that was the first 2 hours of owning this car. So it was pretty awesome. So yeah, a thorough bolt check, found that big ass alternator bolt at the bottom, also just completely gone. I don't know how the car ran, but we got it sorted.
So after that, you know, after you get everything sorted out, you did some other modifications. Well, you did some real modification, not just upkeep. So tell us a little bit of what you've done so far since you've owned the car.
Well, so car scenes have always been like in and out of project mode, but after almost 4 years now, it's finally like just like really enjoying and driving it. But there's a few things that I've done to it. So obviously, the first thing I ever wanted to do to it was just ITV the car. But before I could do that, there's just like a lot of general upkeep and everything. The engine was like leaking from every seal possible, leaking where oil doesn't even come out of. I mean, it was just everywhere. Oil was everywhere. So that's all I spent during the first few months, is just resealing everything and just getting to know the car, learning how to work on it. You gave me the awesome tech manual, that big old PDF printed Bible.
Oh yeah,
I use that thing all the time.
FedEx special. So what about the rear here with the hatch? What is what's this about? Is this well, it's not original. I see hood pins on it.
Yeah, it's not original.
Is this something that you did, or is this how the car came?
No, this is how the car came. So this is I thought it was a TRD hatch, but it's not, because the TRD is actually just a wing that bolts onto the factory one. So this is a CBY FRP hatch, crystal body Yokohama, and I just love everything about the shape of it. I mean, this one's, you know, it's not in the best condition. They've installed a track wing on top of this wing at some point, so
yeah,
it'll work,
it's pretty cool. I mean, and this is plexiglass.
Yeah, just Lexan here.
Lexan, okay.
All this other glass is
still original glass. And you got some cool. There we go. And you got the visors, you know, very rare part nowadays.
Yeah, so I had to pick these up from Yahoo Japan. I had to source those, find them. The hardest thing and what you cannot get are these right here. So I've got a buddy that has these with the original ones. So you can kind of see on here where there's like there's ridges on these. So they make reproduction stickers which go on there, but the true OG thing, it's a raised sticker. So it's like, it's got texture on it, and you cannot, it just doesn't exist.
So tell me a little bit about the wheels. These are pretty sweet. They're nice and polished up.
The SSR Star Sharks, 14 by 7, -3, 14 by 6.5, 0. These were from the original owner. So the original owner bought these, bought the wheels secondhand, and he refinished them. So they look really good there, but they didn't have center caps. So another thing I added to it was finding the center caps. And these aren't the reproduction center caps. These were actually original SSR Star Shark caps. So the reproduction ones are more like an orange, and these are more like a gold on the coloring.
Awesome.
We also didn't have any decaling on the car at all, so it didn't say Trueno anywhere, it didn't say GTV anywhere. So I bought reproduction stickers, you know, to give it more of that, you know, OEM kind of look with it.
And I guess before we touch on the engine, tell me a little bit about the interior. What do you got going on in there?
Yeah, so the interior is kind of how the car kind of came. I've got the original seats here. What I've added to it is a few things. The TRD shifter or shift knob was already there. It's got a C short shifter. I've added the wheel. I still have the factory wheel. I've added the DEFI digital cluster or digital gauge. I've added that, and the TRD bucket right out of the TRD catalog for the Corollas. So I've added those. It came with the floor mats already. Yeah, so just a few changes I've made into the interior.
Okay, so let's move on to the front of the car and to the engine, which is, I guess, where a lot of the magic happens.
Yes. So the engine is what kind of kept this car in and out project mode for the most part. So when I first got the car, I wanted, you know, obviously I just had to ITB it. So after I kind of got the car running after the first year or so, and good and reliable, then I converted to ITB and coil unplug.
Yeah, let's pop the hood and see what it looks like under there.
So, and then when I'd done that work, I never really had the car properly tuned. I was sort of just driving it around, just kind of feeling it out. Added the Link ECU for energy management, or engine management, and the car just never kind of ran right. And so when I had checked compression on there, the compression ran low on it. It wasn't terribly low, but it was like 120 across, where Toyota needs wants you to be at like 142 at the minimum. So I thought I was just gonna refresh it, and so I took the head off and started taking things apart, and then like probably like most projects is like stuff just starts snowballing, right? And so it was like, well, if I'm gonna do all this work, why would I just put it back stock? Like, I mean, I was gonna keep the ITBs, but why not make it better? Why not let's bring the revs up on it? So I decided to rebuild everything. Put in better internals, bigger cams, anything to basically support it to live at 9,000 RPM.
So what cams does the car have now?
These are Toyota 288 matching, both intake and exhaust, 8.5 millimeter lift. That's like about the maximum lift you can do without having to do a valve train conversion. So this is still shims over bucket. You have to convert to like bucket over shims or just shimless if you want to run like a higher lift on these. But I didn't want to do an $800 conversion when really I'm just trying to make 9,000 RPM. So
Yeah, makes sense.
that was kind of thing. Toyota adjustable cams on those as well.
And what about the these are 20 valves? These ITBs?
Yeah, so these are the ones off of the blacktop. So I thought that I bought and actually did buy the silver top ones, but when they came, the trumpets I got for it didn't match up at all, and I measured it and looked, and so it actually had blacktop trumpets instead, or throttle bodies.
Awesome. And on the bottom end, is that all stock bottom end, or?
No, that's also been upgraded too. So so this engine here, so the original engine is the big port 3-rib, and so I kept the stock crank, but I have small port pistons on there, and they're higher compression small port pistons, 10.7 Arias pistons. And so MRP down in New Zealand, we've done tons of 4AG racing engines and builds and stuff like that. I had them build custom rods to basically mate big port crank to small port pistons. So did that, ARP hardware throughout, ACL race bearings. And then in the head to support the higher RPM, it also has Toyota springs as well. So stiffer springs for the higher RPM. And then the head is just, everything else is, retainers and everything else is just, just stock and new seals and stuff like that.
So how much power, more or less, did you dyno at with this setup?
Yeah, so we got over to the dyno, took it to Z Fever actually, and Martin over there had tuned it. So I got his contact from Mark Panic, who's like the man when it comes to electrical and modding on the Toyota side for what you're looking to do, especially with these standalones. And then so him and Martin go way back, like 15, 20 years. And so he gave me Martin's contact. And so when we dynoed it, we got about 100 and I think like 142, 143 wheel. But then we just took the filters off the ITB and instantly we were pushing 150. So it's crazy how much the filters like really make a difference to the power output. So yes, this thing will make 150 wheel, but that's with no filters.
Awesome. So I see you have some top hats here. What kind of things you got going on with the suspension? What kind of coilovers are these?
Yeah, so the suspension came with the car. So these are Fortunato 500 series. They're 8K front and then 4.5 in the rear. Still running a divorce setup, and then the only thing I've really had to do on that was the rear was like. Once I had the car, it was like super bouncy, especially when I like took it to autocross. Like it was just skipping so much, and I found out that there was just way too much preload in the back, so I dialed that back out, and then the suspension's been like really happy with that.
Awesome. So so you got a sway bar here too. Is that like a normal 8.6 one, or what kind of sway bar do you have there?
Yeah, so this is a Gab sway bar actually. On this one here, so just some JDM stuff that also came with the car. So the previous owner had put like, even though the engine bay was kind of a mess and needed to be refreshed, there's still like a lot of good parts on here. So like in addition, found out there was TRD clutch and pressure plate, total lightweight flywheel, TRD two-way diff, and these really nice sway bars on here, nice strut bar. So I mean, there's good stuff put onto this car.
So what's the so I guess there's a good positive and negative question to ask. What is the best part about 8.6 life, and what's the worst part?
the worst part about 86 life is wanting to do so much, because you know, you see all the stuff on, you know, hot version and, you know, what they're doing in Japan, and there's just so much cool stuff you can do with the car. Like I was saying, it's been almost 4 years I bought this car, and it's taken in all this time up until now, where it's just like, now I can just like actually drive it and enjoy it. So the hardest thing is just, I would say, time. Hardest thing is seeing your car, you know, on the jack stand. Hardest thing is just being so ambitious of what you want to do and what you actually have time to do when you got, you know, family and job and everything else kind of getting in your way. So,
I understand that for sure. And the best part sure happens behind the wheel.
Oh my God, the best part is absolutely behind the wheel. You know, people always say that these cars are like overrated. I would disagree and say they are underrated. I mean, this car is so much freaking fun. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Because I've had a or my MR2 that I had, which is what I was kind of building for, like, you know, racing another NA car with a beam swap. The two cars were just like night and day, because you got the MR2, right? It's like, you know, it's got really good suspension, still has power steering, still has AC, and the car, you know, was very capable of what it did, but it was like very, you know, very smooth, and it was like, you know, very controllable. This thing, it's just so raw. It's just, everything is firm, steering is direct, that throttle input is direct. Everything is just like, it's beyond exciting. It's an exciting car to drive.
So you spoke about a little bit about having ambitions for the car. So what's next? Because right now, I mean, it drives great.
Next is brakes. So the brakes have always been, I guess not always been, but it's kind of that's the next thing to do on here. So I've ordered some Project Mu B-spec pads that are coming for this, and then in the bay I've already done the chase bays all the way through. So I've got basically steel braided, not just at the corners but through the whole thing. So you can see this is all nice and clean right here. You know, you kind of got the fuel lines here, but you can see all these brake lines are gone. None of the brake lines over there. It's just all this nice, you know, braided steel. However, the booster has been giving me problems, and it's not really working right. So like over the last, I don't know, 6 months, 9 months, I've just gotten used to kind of just having manual brakes anyway. So I'm gonna bite the bullet and do the chase base kit with it, which gives you a single piston Willwood master for that, and then new lines for that. So I'll just sell these lines, because unfortunately the kits are not compatible at all. I asked Chase Bays about it, and I looked at some of the pictures and I see why they're not compatible. So I just have to buy another kit, unfortunately. But so
awesome.
Yeah, brakes are kind of next thing with it. And then I've already done, you know, this car's been autocrossing a few times, enjoyed it, taking it to Taylor Dragon up north where, you know, we love to go. So next thing is to get it on track. So on track we're going to do that, and then the engine seems to run, you know, really warm on the oil side. So most likely adding an oil cooler here very soon.
Awesome. Well, you know, thanks for your time. Now we can go enjoy the rest of RADWood. Appreciate it.